Okay, we'll start today's session. In previous session, we discussed about some of the aspects related to engineering drawing. Okay, the importance of engineering drawing, why it is required. Okay, and why engineering drawing is considered as uh, universal language of engineers. All those aspects we discussed in previous session. Okay, in today's session, we are going to discuss about some of the conventions which need to be followed whenever we are doing engineering drawing. Okay, or you can consider it as a grammar of the language called engineering drawing. So if you consider English or Kannada, any language, it consists of grammar. Okay, similarly, engineering drawing is also having its own grammar. Okay, whenever you are using this language for communication, you need to follow this grammar. Okay, otherwise it may result in miscommunication. Okay. So what do you mean by engineering drawing? That you can go through these points. Okay, communication through sketches is called graphic language. Okay, graphical representation means so communication through sketches. In previous session we discussed how we can communicate with the world. Okay, there are many ways you can communicate with voice, with text. Okay, with images, with various signs, with gestures. Okay, so here in engineering drawing, we are communicating in graphic language. That means with the help of sketches. The graphical representation of an object is called drawing. Okay, so in general, the meaning of drawing is it is the graphical representation. A drawing of an object which contains all the necessary information like actual shape, accurate sizes, manufacturing methods, and even some of the GD&T concepts in case of mechanical drawings, okay, required for the construction of an object is called engineering drawing. So the salient features of engineering drawing is you can find dimensions in these drawings. That means you will get a clear picture regarding the size of the object. Okay, in normal drawing, suppose if an artist is doing drawing. Okay, so it is just for representation. You can identify the object is portraying, okay, in his drawing, but it is difficult to get the actual size of the object. But in case of engineering drawing, you will get the accurate size of the object by looking at the drawing itself. Okay, so that is the difference between normal drawing and engineering drawing. So it includes actual shape, accurate sizes, and manufacturing methods. Okay, like specifying tolerances, limits, and some of the GD&T concepts like cylindricity. Okay, so all those things include in drawing. Okay. Engineering drawing may be either representational or graphic. Okay, so if a drawing doesn't consist of okay dimensions or size of an object, then the drawing is considered as representational. Here you are able to identify the object, okay, by looking at the drawing, but you cannot get the actual size of that object. Okay, that is the representational. Whether the drawing is if it is a drawing of bike, you are able to identify it as bike, but you don't get a picture regarding what is the size of the bike, okay, or what is the size of the wheel, what is the size of the frame. Okay, like that you don't get the details regarding its size in case of representational drawing. Whereas in case of graphic drawing, you are able to identify the object and also its dimensions, that means its size. Okay, the representational drawing shows only the appearance of an object, whereas the graphic drawing shows the accurate sizes and shapes of the object. Okay, so here you have two drawings. Okay, so what is the name of this object shown in the drawing?
Cube.
Cube. Okay, so what is the name of the object shown in this figure? Second one.
Cube.
Cube. Okay, so in both cases you are able to identify the object. So both they are same and they are cubes. Okay. Now what is the size of this cube in the first figure? What is the size?
Not mentioned.
Not
don't
mentioned. That means it is which type of drawing?
Representation.
Representational.
Okay. So here you are able to identify the object like cube. Okay, but you don't know its dimension. Okay. Next, in this case, if someone asks what is the dimension of this cube, we can say, okay, it is having 100 mm. Okay. So usually in engineering drawing, okay, we use the unit millimeter. Okay. So in the dimensioning, we don't specify it as mm, but if 100 is written in the drawing, by default, you should consider it as a 100 mm. Okay. So here, this size of this cube is 100 mm. Okay. Suppose if the size of this edge, this lateral edge is not equal to 100, then what do we call this object? Okay, if the length of this vertical
Cuboid.
line or this edge is not equal to 100, then what is the name of this object?
Cuboid.
Cuboid.
Any other answers? Okay, so it will be considered as cube only if the length of the lateral edges is equal to length of the base edge. Okay, and so if they are at the base and at the top end, so if there are square lamina, okay, then we consider it as a cube. Okay, and even if the lateral surfaces are square lamina, okay, we consider it as cube. But if the length of this lateral edge is not equal to base length of the base edge, that is 100, then it is considered as prism. Okay. Next, again, which type of prism? It will be a square prism. Okay. So need not worry much about that. We will discuss in projection of solids about that. Okay. Need not worry. So here what you should remember is representational means so you don't find dimensions or you don't get the sizes. In case of graphic drawing, so you can get the actual size of the object. Okay. So if you remember, even if you don't remember also no problem. Okay. But these are the fundamental things you should know. Generally you should be aware of. Okay. Since an engineering drawing is a graphical medium of expression of technical details without the barrier of a language, it is called the universal language of engineers. In previous class, we discussed about this in detail. Okay. Today we live in a globalized world where you may have to, an engineer working in Bangalore may have to communicate with an engineer who is working in Germany or China or Japan. Then, okay, everyone in the world, they don't know English. Okay, so then how will you communicate? An engineer from Germany, so he may not knowing the English. Okay, so then, so yeah, you need another language. Okay, so that language is drawing. Okay, so with the help of this drawing or in this graphical language, we are able to remove the barrier. Okay. Next, drawing instruments. Suppose in order to prepare drawings, you need some instruments. Okay, since for other than mechanical and civil engineering branches, okay, we depend on CAD. Okay, we are doing these drawings on SolidWorks software. That means we don't need much instruments. Okay. You need not buy any new instrument for this drawing course. Okay, already we have used these instruments: scale, compass, protractor, pencil, and eraser. Okay, these are sufficient. So no need to buy any other instruments. If you are doing manual drawing like mechanical or civil branch students, then you need few more instruments like mini drafter. Okay, and container, drawing sheets, okay, and base sheet. All those things are required for manual drawing. But here you are going to do drawings on your sketchbook or your your observation or sketchbook and on the computer system. So that's why you don't require much instruments. Okay. So whenever if I think it may start from February 1. Okay. when you are coming for offline classes, so you have to bring these things: scale, compass, protractor, pencil, eraser. Okay, these are sufficient for your drawing class. And you might have seen in some of the films or movies, okay, if they are portraying engineering student as film hero, okay, most of the times, so they will keep along with them this container. Okay, so this is used for engineering drawing in manual drawing. So we use this container, okay, so to keep drawing sheets, but you are not using this also. Okay, since we are practicing on SolidWorks software, we don't require this okay, so instrument also, that is container, it is also not required. Only these 5 are required. And in pencil, okay, so you can use HP. Okay, that only one is sufficient. Need not buy different grades of pencils. Okay. Drawing sheets. Okay, there are different drawing sheets, A0 to A8, but for CAD, so for your class, so we use A4 for taking printouts. Okay, so A4 we are using, and A4 sheets or A4 size is familiar to you. Okay, so for manual drawing they may be using A1 or A2, but for your class, so you are using A4 for taking printout, and even for submitting assignments, so you do all assignments in A4 sheets. Okay. So these are the this is the representation of some of the drawing sizes. A0 means, so it is say large, it is having size large size. Okay, A0. Then A1 is half of A0, and A2 is half of A1, and A3 is half of A2, and A4 is half of A3. Like this, we will get different sizes, and we are using A4 for taking printouts and even for assignments. Okay. This is about drawing sheets. And again, in SolidWorks software, okay, so you can choose the sheet size whenever you start drawing by using SolidWorks. Initially, you have to choose the size of the sheet. There are options. Okay, this is the SolidWorks software. So you go to File and New. We have a separate template for our college. Okay, so that is A4MC. If you choose this template, you will get A4 size drawing sheet. Okay, this is the standard template created. Otherwise, if you don't choose this standard template, then you will get an option to choose different sizes. Here you can see you have to choose whether A0, A1, A2, A3, A4. Okay, so while doing drawing on software also, you need to choose sheet size. Again, it depends on which sheet you are taking printout. Okay, finally you have to take printout. So that means usually we take printout in A4 sheets in our college. So that's why you have to choose A4 size. Okay. Pencil grades. Okay, so already you are familiar with whenever you go to purchase lead, okay, for your micro tip pencil. So you will ask, okay, give me 2B, HB. Okay, so H means art, B means bold. Okay, so if you use B, so you can get the impression, darker impression or thick impression you are able to get. If you use H, so the impression that you are going to get is light, but the lead is hard. Okay, so that is the meaning. So there are different grades of pencils available in the market, but HB is sufficient. So by putting more pressure, you can draw thick and thin lines by using HB only. Okay, even you can use micro tip pencil, no problem. Okay, so in the class you can use micro tip pencil which is having HB lead. Okay, or even you can use 2B, but you may be find it difficult to draw thin lines or light lines. Okay, so take HB leads and use micro tip pencil only. Okay. Lettering. Okay, already you are familiar with ABCD. Then also you have to write it once again. The reason is in engineering drawing, Okay, every individual is having his own writing style. Okay, so even ABCD, every individual will write in a unique way. You have your own handwriting. Okay, but in engineering drawing, even while writing these letters and numbers, you need to follow a particular style. Okay, this this is the reference to write ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers and some of the symbols. Okay. So here you have to okay. So you have to write these letters uppercase and lowercase. So capital is nothing but uppercase, and small is nothing but lowercase. Okay, and these are numbers. You have to write all these things in a A4 sheet, and you have to upload. I will create an assignment on Microsoft Teams today, and you have to submit before tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, you have to take a A4 size sheet, then okay, for writing these uppercase letters. Okay, so draw two lines. Okay, two straight lines you have to draw, not like this. Okay, draw two straight lines and then go on writing by freehand. Okay, EAB like this. Okay. So in a similar way, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ತರ ಇದೆ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ. So you have to write AB by drawing two lines. Okay, and by this should be 10 mm. Okay, so this should be 10 mm. So you have to go on writing A to up to Z, and this and symbol is not required. You have to write this 5. Okay, then similarly, then you have to write lowercase also. While writing lowercase, you need to draw 4 lines. Okay, so 2 lines similar to this, leaving 10 mm between these two. Then draw 2 more lines by taking 4 mm between these two. Okay, so again 4 mm between these two lines. So then again go on writing AB. Okay, continuously you can draw the line from left to right. So ಒಂದೇ ಸಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫುಲ್ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಲೆಟರ್ಸ್ನ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್. Okay, next B. Suppose if you want to write B, okay, then see like this you have to continue. Okay, so if you have any doubts you can ask. So ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನು ಬರೀಬೇಕು. So ABCD uppercase lowercase in a and numbers also in a A4 size sheet. So like this. Next, types of lines. This is another very important convention you should remember. In drawing we use different types of lines, and each line will convey a particular meaning. Okay, simply you cannot draw some line thicker and some line thin. Okay, so even the thickness of a line is having its own meaning in engineering drawing. Okay, so if you represent something using thick line, that will convey a different meaning, okay, compared to a thin line. Or if you represent something with dashed line, that will convey some information, or that is a representation of some details of an object. Okay, so these are there are different types. Okay, so okay, there are different types of lines. So one is thick line, continuous thick. So this is one type of line. This is used for visible outlines or visible edges. Another is continuous thin line. This is used for dimension lines, projection lines, leader lines, okay, imaginary lines of intersection, outlines of revolved sections. Then continuous thin. Okay, so this is used for boundaries or limits. Then dashed lines or dashes. Okay, again in dashes, thick and thin. It is used for hidden outlines and hidden edges. Then chain dashed line or chain thin, used for center lines, lines of symmetry. Then chain thin and thick at the ends. These are used in while taking sections. Okay, these are used to represent cutting planes. Then chain thick. So these are used to represent some of the surface of the object need an additional treatment, like it may be like plating, or it may be like painting, okay, or it may be like anodizing. So there are various treatment processes. If an object require, surface of an object require an additional treatment process, that is represented with chain thick. And there is another line, chain thin double dash, outlines of adjacent parts, alternate and extreme positions of movable parts. So out of these types of lines, you need to remember only continuous thick, continuous thin, then dashes thick, then chain thin, and chain thin at thick at ends. Okay, you have to remember these 5: continuous thick, continuous thin, dashes thick, then chain thin and thick at the ends. We use for this course only these 5 types of lines. Okay, remaining just for your awareness. Okay, so you need to draw the table as it is in a A4 size sheet, and you have to submit it as an assignment. Okay, I will create an assignment. In that assignment, you have to write this table and you have to submit. So next, again, so need not follow this course, but again it is for general awareness. Usually you have to differentiate between thick and thin line. Okay, if the thickness of the thick line is 0.35 mm, then thin line should be 0.18. That means half of it. If the thickness of the thick line is 0.5 mm, then thickness of the thin line should be 0.25. That means half of it. Again, if it is 0.70, it should be 0.35. If it is 1 mm, then it should be 0.50. Like this, you have to differentiate between thick and thin line. Need not measure. You cannot measure 0.35. Okay, but approximately it should look like thin and it should look like thick when you draw 2 lines. Okay, so this is a representation. This is a thin line and this is a thick line. You are able to identify which are the thick lines and which are the thin lines in this drawing. Okay, so this is a thick line and this is a thin line. Just by looking at these 2 lines, you are able to differentiate which is the thick and which is the thin line. So when you draw 2 lines also, similarly, someone who is looking at your drawing must be able to differentiate whether the line you have drawn is a thick line or thin line. Okay, like that you have to practice. Just by varying pressure, okay, you are able to get this differentiation. Okay, if you want to get a thin line, apply less pressure. If you want to get a thick line, apply more pressure. And again, in a single, try to draw in a single stroke. Okay, ಒಂದೇ ಸಲ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. Don't over write or over draw. Okay, in a single stroke you must be able to get thin and thick lines by practice. Okay, in first few classes, if you practice, it will become a habit. Okay, so need not worry. By practice you are able to draw this thick and thin lines. And again, when it comes to the software, okay, in SolidWorks we have a command called line format. By using this line format command, okay, so it is possible for us to get or if we can vary the thickness of lines. Okay, suppose if there are 2 lines, okay, drawn like this, then I can select a line, okay, and I can vary the thickness. So already it is activated, so the command is line curve format. Okay, so I will choose 0.2, okay, or 0.1 for thin. Okay, this is thin line. Then I will choose 0.2 for thick. Okay, now we are able to differentiate. This is the thin and this is the thick line. So this is the command used to vary the thickness on SolidWorks. Similarly, if you want to change the line type, okay, so for that also there is a command available and there are options. Okay, so you can make it as a dashed line. Okay, this continuous line can be converted into a dashed line by choosing this. Okay, now it is a dashed line. Similarly, so I can convert this as dashed. Suppose I want chain line, so I can change it to chain like this. Okay, so you have commands in software to follow all these conventions. Okay. Next, here when we have to use thick line and when we have to use thin line and when we have to use this dashed line. Okay, these three are very important. Thick, thin, continuous thick, continuous thin, and thick dashes. Okay, these three are very important, and you must be aware of when you have to use continuous thick line, when you have to use continuous thin, and when you have to use this thick dashed line. You must be aware of these things. These three are very important. Okay, as represented here, continuous thick is used to represent visible outlines and visible edges. Continuous thin, dimension lines, projection lines, leader lines, imaginary lines of intersection, outlines of revolved sections. Okay, now we will consider an example of an object and we can understand it properly. Okay, so I will first I will construct an object. Okay, need not worry about the software. I will teach you when you come for offline class. Okay, don't worry about how to use this command. You are going to practice on the computer systems when you come to college. Okay, don't worry about this. Okay, I am constructing a solid just to make you understand how why dashed and continuous lines are used. Okay, so which is the object?
Cube.
Cube.
Okay, it is a cube.
Cube.
Okay.
Cube.
So how many lateral edges? Okay, these are the lateral edges. How many lateral edges you can find in a cube? So that means these
4.
vertical edges. So totally there are 4 lateral edges. Okay, 1, 2. So then 3, 4. There are 4 lateral edges. Similarly, this is the base. How many base edges? 4 base edges. Okay, and again there at the top also there are 4 top end face edges. Okay. Now suppose it is kept in this orientation like in isometric. Okay. Now how many lateral edges you are able to see?
3.
3.
3. Okay. So the actual number of lateral edges in the cube are 4. Okay, but you are able to see only 3. That means remaining one lateral edge is invisible. Okay. So here that is the meaning. If you look at these details, visible outlines are visible edges. Suppose if you are representing lateral edges of the cube, these 3 are visible. This lateral edge, this and this. These 3 are visible lateral edges, and whereas this one is the invisible. Similarly, at the base, okay, this is one base edge and this is another base edge. Totally, how many base edges?
4.
4. Out of 4, you are able to see only 2. That means remaining 2 base edges are invisible. Okay. So here you are using continuous thick to represent these 2 base edges, and these three lateral edges, and these two top end face edges. Okay, for these you are using thick lines, and even these two also you are able to see. Okay, so all these visible edges, this is a visible edge, this is also a visible edge, since you are able to see it. Okay, this is also visible. These are visible edges, whatever you are seeing now. Okay, invisible edges are, so which are at the rear end and you are not able to see them. Okay, for invisible, what we are using is dashes here. Hidden outlines are hidden edges. They are nothing but invisible edges. Okay, hidden is nothing but invisible, which you are not able to see when you are looking at the object in a particular orientation. Okay. So now again I can represent, there are options available. Okay, so now this is how it will be represented. This is a cube. Okay, so now in that orientation we are able to see only these edges. They are represented with continuous thick lines, whereas you can see there are three dashed lines. This is one dashed line, this is another, and this is another dashed line. These are nothing, these are represented in dashed because they are invisible. We know why they are invisible. Okay, so now in this orientation, okay, this is how this object will look like, and in representation, in drawing, we are going to draw it like this: invisible with dashed. Okay, so visible with continuous thick lines. This is how we will represent. Next, suppose if you want to dimension it, okay, then we make use of thin lines. Okay, that I will show you. Okay, now suppose if I want to dimension this cube. Okay, so next I will go for dimensioning. Okay, so this is the dimension of this head. Okay, so here we are using thin lines. Okay, so for dimensioning we are going to use thin lines. Okay, this is the actual visible edge. Okay, and this is the projection line or extension line. For projection or extension line we are using thin. This is a thin line, and this is the dimension line. Again, this is a thin line. So here if you look at the table, okay, continuous thin dimension lines. Okay, so this is a dimension line. This line is a dimension line and it is thin. Okay, next projection lines. Okay, so these two are projection or extension lines. Again, they are thin. Okay, so like that, there are few more lines which we don't find in most of the drawings which you are going to do in this course. Okay, leader lines you don't see. Okay, imaginary lines of intersection, outlines of revolved sections. Okay, so here in most of the drawings you will find only dimension lines and projection lines. Okay, so now you are able to realize when thick lines are used, when thin lines are used, and when thick dashed lines are used. Okay, what do you mean by visible edges and what do you mean by hidden edges, and what do you mean by dimension line and projection line? Okay, these things I have explained. Okay, next, chain thin is used to represent axis. Okay, suppose if you are representing axis of a cone or axis of a pyramid, axis of a prism, you use this chain line. Okay, chain thin is used in only in development chapter. Okay, in module 3. Okay, so you are in module 4 in development of surfaces only you use this chain thin. Okay, allivargu you use modella. You are going to use only these 4 lines. Okay, continuous thick, thin, dash thick and chain thin for entire orthographic projection. Okay, only for development of surfaces you use chain thin and thick at the ends. Okay, this is about types of lines, and this also we discussed. Okay, next material convention. Even in engineering drawing, okay, so there are some conventions when you are representing materials also. Okay, one familiar convention is representation of liquid. Okay, in physics, in chemistry, or in your school, college. Okay, whenever you are doing drawings to represent water, so you use this convention unknowingly. Okay, so like that for other materials also there are conventions. These are the conventions for metals. This is a convention used to represent glass. Okay, packing and insulating materials, liquids, wood, concrete. Okay, need not remember, but just aware of these things. Okay. This completes today's class. Okay, in next session, I will do dimensioning. Okay, so after that, I will start projection, or I will do some of the exercises related to construction of polygons. Okay. If you have any doubt regarding whatever we discussed today, you can ask. If you have any questions or if you have any doubts, you can ask.